Okay, well, I've done poetry here on these open mic nights, but haven't done anything like this in like 34 years. So I'm going to be rough as a cob. And, I'm not sure how adequate I am to the test, but one thing I am qualified to speak on, and that's I can proclaim the undeniable love, the incredible mercy and compassion, the truly amazing grace that we have through Jesus Christ, our Father in heaven.
All right.
And I'm going to start out, read to you from Romans, 8th chapter, 15th verse. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
Amen.
Now, ABBA is not just a Swedish singing group. ABBA is the first century Greek way of saying Papa. Or some of the Mount folk, you say Pappy. And these days we say Daddy. And I think we get that. You know, the difference between father and daddy. You know, the old saying, any man can be a father, but to be a daddy,
Right.
that's something special. And it's a term of endearment that shows this intense love and caring that the father has for the child. That's not just your father, that's your daddy.
Right.
That's your Abba. So I'd like for you to bear that in mind. I want to read you some parables here real quick. From the book of Luke, 15th chapter, starting in the 4th verse. What man of you, this is Jesus speaking, what man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doth not leave the 99 in the wilderness, and go after that which is lost until he find it? And when he hath found it, he layeth it on his shoulders, rejoicing. Go down to the 8th verse. Either what woman, having 10 pieces of silver, if she lose one piece, doth not light a candle, and sweep the house and seek diligently until she find it? And when she hath found it, she calleth her friends and her neighbors together, saying, Rejoice with me, for I have found the piece which I had lost. Go down to the 11th verse. And he said, A certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. Not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him to his field to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. Now we'll recognize these 3 parables, the parable of the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost kid, the prodigal son. And I suppose a lot can be derived from these parables, but here's my take on it. Looking back at the lost sheep, are there any lost sheep in here tonight? Any little lost lambs in here tonight that maybe you've wandered into a place where you don't have direction?
All right.
You're not too sure about where you're at. You just know you're not where you belong.
All right. Good.
It's like being lost in the wilderness. You know, the experts say if you ever get lost in the wilderness, you get lost in the woods, the most important, the first thing to remember is don't panic. And I get that, you know. I spent a long time out in the woods, camping, hiking and such. And there's a couple of times I got turned around a little bit and got myself a little bit lost. And they're right. The first thing that happens is a panic starts to wash over you, you know. And the reason for that is that in that moment you realize you're powerless. You're powerless. No matter how much you'd like to, no matter how much you want to, literally to save yourself, you cannot make a good decision.
Right.
There's no good decision to be made. Any direction is as good or bad as any other.
All right.
I mean, that's, I guess, the whole definition of being lost is you become powerless. And I know something about being powerless. You know, these 12-step programs that they got for addiction, Alcoholics Anonymous, I guess, would be the most famous, but they got them for everything these days. The first step in those 12-step is you have to admit that you're powerless to what you're addicted to. That you've laid a hold on to something bad in life that now it's got a hold on you. Made you powerless. Maybe somebody here tonight, something bad got a hold on you. Made you powerless.
Right.
Beyond addiction, there's all kinds of things. Young people got it hard these days. You know, peer pressure, family issues, relationship issues, personal issues. They can make you powerless. What about financial, money issues, marital problems, grief? Can render you powerless.
Right.
Depression.
Yes, sir.
So I'm wondering if there's any lost sheep in here. The second parable was about pieces of silver, talking about coins. And a coin, you know, they'd strike a coin. These days we mint them. Either way, a coin is something that's created with a specific purpose. It has a use and a utility.
Right.
Made from a precious metal. Because in the hand of the bearer, it has a certain value. It has a certain worth.
Right.
And it's considered to be precious. What's a lost coin worth? What's the value of a lost coin? Are there any lost coins here tonight?
All right.
Is there anybody here tonight that maybe it's like you've rolled off into some distant corner of life? You're lodged in some dark recess, caught in some nook or cranny. You once had purpose, you once had use and utility, you had worth and you had value, and now it's like you've fallen between the cracks and maybe not so much. Like a thing of shining brilliance, now lost somewhere in the dark. Any lost coins here tonight? What about this young fella in the last one, the prodigal son? I was the prodigal poster child for 2012. Any prodigals here tonight?
Come on, brother.
Is there anybody here tonight that, you know, you had it going on once, you were on top of it, you were large and in charge, let the good times roll, but it seems like as time went by virtue of some poor planning or some bad decisions, some wrong choices,
All right.
it seems like now you've been reduced to a place in life you just never dreamt you'd come to. And your memory is, your best days are behind you. You start thinking about another place, another time. You start thinking about home. You just want to go home. Is anybody in here tonight just want to go home?
All right.
It says the young man came to himself.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He had enough. He had enough of the damage he was doing to his life. He could say it plain. I've sinned. I've wasted. I've messed it up. I've messed it all up. He had enough. Anybody in here tonight? Have you had enough?
Right.
Have you had enough?
No.
Are you doing that terrible math that beyond the damage you're doing to yourself, maybe the people that you love and care for the most are the people you're hurting the most?
All right, brother. That's the truth.
Any prodigals in here tonight? Go back real quick to that first parable about the lost sheep. You know, that shepherd, he's really not doing so bad. I mean, out of 100 sheep, he's only lost one. It's a pretty good ratio. Most shepherds would be happy with that. But this is no ordinary shepherd.
All right.
This shepherd has that Abba thing going on.
Yeah.
Okay? We know who this shepherd is. This is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is the good shepherd. This is the good shepherd. He's not worried about the 99. They're fine. They're where they need to be.
Right.
His focus is you.
Uh-huh.
He's looking for you. He's not going to leave any stone unturned. He'll turn over heaven and earth looking for you, calling for you.
All right, brother.
Anyone here tonight, can you hear the good shepherd calling for you? And what does it say? If you'll be found, what's going to happen? He's going to reach down with nail-scarred hands and lift you up out of that place of powerlessness that you've wandered into. And He's going to put you on those same mighty shoulders that hoisted that rugged cross to Golgotha. And He's going to bear your burdens. He's going to carry you. He's going to carry you back. Amen. Back to where you belong. He's Abba, the good shepherd. And what about you lost coins? Your Father in heaven, your Abba. He's shining the light into the darkness that you've been lost in tonight. He's looking diligently for you tonight, sweeping the house clean. He'll turn the place upside down trying to find you tonight. And if you'll be found tonight, once again, you'll be born in the hand of God. You'll have your purpose and your usefulness restored to you. You'll have your worth and your value back because in the hand of your Father, in the hand of Abba, you are precious to Him. Amen. What about the Father, about the prodigal son? Says he saw him coming from a great way off.
Oh, yeah.
Humbled, trying to make it back home, beaten down, broken by the world. Trying to make it that far distance off, trying to make it back. What did he do? Did he call for the hired servant and say, go shut and lock the gate, keep that boy out of here, it's what he deserves? He did. Did he say, well, look at here who's going to crawl back. My, how the mighty have fallen. Guess I'll just sit here and see if he can make it all the way up here to me, and then we'll see about it. So some fathers would do. But this is Abba. This is Abba.
All right.
I'm telling you, if you can turn it around tonight, if you can humble yourself and say it plain, you might be impossibly far off. But your Father in heaven, your Abba, will come running to you. Yes, He'll meet you on the way. He won't fall on you with retribution and shame. Yeah. He's going to call for the best robe of restoration and righteousness and comfort to be draped around your shoulders. Amen. Call for the ring of kinsmanship to be placed upon your fingers because you are His child. Amen. His child who's come home. Home to His Abba. There's so much more I'd like to say. I'm living a new life in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Listen, something I've learned, I wish I'd learned it 34 years ago. You can't put things off till tomorrow. Christianity doesn't rely on yesterday. No. Christianity is accomplished in the moment. Yes, in the here and the now. Yes. And you're here. And now is your time. Amen. Will you be found tonight? Whatever it is, tonight, deal with it. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Have you had enough? Have you had enough? Your Father, your Abba says, come on home. You get on home now. All right. I'll leave you with this. If you take nothing else from this, you take this, you lock it up tight in your heart. I promise you it's the truth. It does not matter who you are here tonight.
Come on, brother.
It does not matter what you have done. It does not matter what situation you find yourself in.
That's right.
When it comes to your Father in heaven, your Abba, you can always come home.
Amen. Good job.